What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to G-Ball Vision. Today we are taking a deep dive into the often forgotten about Orion Knives Solaris. Now, in my opinion, that is how it stands. I think this knife kind of gets forgotten about and overlooked when we're talking about button lock folders. A very new company, Orion Knives. They do have a couple models out, I believe 3 at this point, but this was the very first one, at least that I know about, the Solaris button lock. Let's go over a couple of the features of this knife here. We got 14C28N on the blade steel, a nice black washed finish on this guy, nice low drop point blade. Pretty nice blade stock, going to be a user blade stock in my opinion. Going to be 14C is already tough. Added in with the right blade stock thickness, the right geometry, this will be a cutting, durable monster. And this knife is exactly that. You also have multiple ways of deploying this guy. You have dual thumb studs there that work very comfortably, very easily. This is a unique design, the way this is laid out. But once you get this knife in hand, oh man, it is just, you can get so much leverage on these studs. It's impressive. And the flipper tab is up above your pivot here. So because of that, you are able to get a lot more leverage on this guy. And because this is a button lock, the more leverage that you can get on the knife, if it's a flipper knife or even any opening method, the more leverage you can get on it, the better that action is going to be. And in this case, the action for a button lock is outstanding, guys. And this is not, a brand new knife or anything like that. It's been out for, a year or maybe even a little longer. So this has run its course. And I think it gets overlooked because it is just amazing. You have a full finger choil here, so that's going to allow you to choke up right behind that edge. Because it has that full finger choil, you will be able to get right up on that tip for precision cuts, detailed cuts, being able to gauge how deep your cut is using your pointer finger as a stop. Love being able to do that. You have a nicely finished and nice looking handle, going to be very comfortable, especially in that choked up position. The finger choil is, I can get a full grip in there and have no worries whatsoever about getting up on that edge. And you can't say that about most. Even with a decent finger choil, you still run the risk a lot of times of, nipping yourself on the edge. And in this case, you do as well, but you have a lot more room for an air, let's just say. In the standard grip, very nice, very comfortable as well. This one is sporting aftermarket accessories. We have raindrop carbon fiber, which is absolutely stunning stuff, coming right from Orion Knives store. I will link his store down below if you are not familiar. I'm not sure if these are in stock at the moment or not. I also got a green hardware pack, so you get the pivot collars and the back spacer there. I think this is the best combination in my opinion, but they do have other color combo packs. He usually does G10 handles, I believe, in the standard configuration, but the aftermarket scales are not overly expensive, and you get a nice hunk of carbon fiber here. I believe that pocket clip is titanium, and it seems to be coming up that way. So a nice titanium pocket clip that's been milled out, and it's going to be left hand friendly, so you will be able to reverse that clip. I love that he ran the backspacer up as far as he did. Just a great move, I think, and that's because of that flipper tab. He had to leave room in there, but that's a nice 3/4 length backspacer. Love backspacers. You guys know that. This thing is, in my opinion, overlooked by a mile. There's definitely people out there who know how good this knife is. Now you're getting 2 7/8 of cutting edge and about 3 1/8 of total edge, and you're coming down around 7 3/4, just shy of 7 3/4 for your total length. So it's not a big knife, but the way this is laid out and as tall as it is, it feels and even looks like a bigger knife. I have XL hands, and there is plenty of room on this guy. So, and because of the carbon fiber, this thing does not weigh much for as tall and wide as it is. 4.6, 4.7, not bad at all. Yeah, ratios, guys will cry about it, but definitely not a big deal. It is a little taller of a knife. I don't know. Yeah, so the PM2 is still just a little bit taller than this guy. As far as thickness goes, though, the Solaris has it by probably a good, about 16, a strong 16th, working on an 1/8 inch. And that's not a bad thing, especially if you have bigger hands. You want that width, that thickness, especially if it's not going to cost you much in the weight department. Because it just gives you a better, more comfortable grip on the knife. Let's go ahead and throw some comparisons up here against this guy. PM2 going to be just a touch bigger than the Solaris. Pair 3 will be a little bit smaller. We have the RSK from Hogue here, and that'll be a fair comparison. The RSK will be a touch bigger. Not a whole lot, though. Deca V2, going to be a touch smaller. And then we have 2 more, the 20.5, and we have the S90V bug out here. So the 20.5 is definitely going to be a very fair comparison to this knife. So a lot of people have the 20.5, or at least one of the previous knives I just showed. More than likely you have at least one of them, and that gives you a good reference of the size of this knife. So how does this knife carry? We'll pull out our Forest G-Ball Hank here and slide this guy in. Milled clips just like this, you know, they work very good. They look very clean. You will have to give it just a little bit of effort, but, you know, grabbing it when you're up above it to push it in your pocket will be a lot easier than me just trying to slide this on. Going to have a little bit of knife sticking out, but that comes with the territory of a milled clip, and that allows you the ability to kind of place your thumb where that little bit is hanging out of your pocket, and then just pull it right out. Good retention on that pocket clip, and that is the standard clip. How does the edges come? I believe these are QSP OEM. So, you know, and QSP can do a very, very good job on their OEM projects, and they do a good job on, you know, their own stuff. But some of their OEM projects, they just absolutely slay it. You know, EMP, EDC, and there are many more. This knife is another example of QSP just absolutely killing it. How does it do up against a regular old piece of cardboard? Very, very easy to get through this stuff. I'm putting just a very light amount of pressure on this guy. That does come down nice and thin, and it just cuts right through this. That taller blade is going to be very nice for things like this, and because you have that lower tip, it'll be easy to get up on things and make your detailed type cuts. A lot of people are cutting cardboard, opening packages, breaking cardboard down. So that is a good test medium for a lot of different people. I just thought of it, but let's check that blade stock. Should have done that earlier. We'll get it at the thickest part here. It's really not that thick. It looks a little thicker. Coming in around like 112. And for behind the edge, we'll pick a random spot here. Boy, that's coming down around 12 thousandths on the edge there. So that's coming down very, very nicely. And that is one thing that allows this to cut the way it does. You have 110 to 115 up here, coming down around 12. That is nice, guys. The aesthetics of this knife are awesome. The price, I don't know off the top of my head. I believe it's right around $100. The aesthetics are awesome. The ergos are great. Materials are great. The cutting performance of 14C is, it's a great steel all the way around. Doesn't have the best edge retention in the world, but it's pretty damn good, and it's easy to sharpen up, and it takes a screaming sharp edge. It carries good. You'll be able to carry it if you're a lefty. As far as the guys who like to fidget and stuff like that, it is a button lock, guys. You'll be able to fidget with this thing like there's no tomorrow. Plus, you have the well-executed flipper that you can really get up on, whether you want to do push button, light switch, rocket them studs out with the thumb, reverse flick it, however you want. This thing can do it all. It's got pretty good acoustics for a button lock. Nice positive open. Nice positive click closed. Open. Closed. Open. Closed. Now you're probably wondering, how's that lock? I actually do not know. This is one I have not tested. Now this is not overly broken in. I have carried it. I have used it, but it's not overly broken in. So let's keep that in mind. It's solid, guys. I don't feel this is rock solid for a button lock. There's a little, and I mean I have to wrench on it just to get a tiny bit of movement, which is impressive because button locks, typically there's a little bit of play just because of the way of the plunge lock design. But this thing is, for all intents and purposes, for a plunge lock, this thing is rock solid, guys. Rock solid. I'll link Solaris or the Solaris down below, Orion knives. Give me a thumbs up before you head out, guys. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this guy. I think this knife is often overlooked and forgotten about. It is an outstanding EDC knife, a great button lock. I mean, it is beautiful, especially with them carbon fiber scales. This thing is absolutely stunning. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this guy. If you're new to the channel or you've been here before and you are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below the video or click the G-Ball Vision logo in the center of your screen. I'll throw up 2 or 3 new videos. Go check one of them out. Otherwise, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.